Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, and my friends, the Under Night In-Birth 2 beta is now live on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. It's an open beta. You can literally just go and download it. That's all you need to do and go play, and it's running throughout all this weekend. That's part of the reason I'm making this video, just to make sure you know it's a very open beta. As you can see here, the entire roster, minus one character, including two of the new characters to Under Night In-Birth 2, are playable here. We have Shield Boy and Shotgun Waifu. Yes, they have real names, but I don't know, I like those names more. And of course, all the Under Night In-Birth classics, from the characters you try to main and can never figure out, to Lin, Hyde, and of course my personal boy, Waldstein. So in this video, I just want to show you a couple of things about the beta itself and also Under Night In-Birth 2 itself. So of course, Under Night In-Birth 2 is a new game and thus has all sorts of new balancing, and also everyone has some new toys to play with. Even someone like Waldstein now has ground pounds. That's different. I don't recall him having that last time I played anyways. Certainly a nice change of pace from having this with the grid system to have, a full screen projectile, right? So that's good. And of course, everyone has their own changes. The big selling point here, though, obviously, is new game, therefore the new characters, which are great. And also, we now have proper rollback netcode. That was always one of the things holding the Uni franchise back, in that, it's a great franchise with some very interesting ideas that aren't really found anywhere else in fighting games, but the netcode kind of sucked. But now we have proper rollback, proper GGPO even, so things should be a lot better. So once again, I behoove you, if you can, with the PlayStation 4 or 5, try out the open beta and see for yourself. So that said, I figure I wanted to show off some of the new stuff, right? Like obviously the returning cast, they've been around for years. They've either sold you or they haven't by now, but we got the new characters and also some new interesting features, one of which I'm a really big fan of. So before we talk about some of the new characters, I just want to show you this, because this is actually just really cool. So, okay, here we go. And turn off the game. Game's done. Here we are on my main menu, right? I need to put more time into the new Yakuza game too, but this video is not about that. So, okay, I closed the game. Let's boot her back up, right? Let's boot her back up. And things are not going to be going into what you think they're going to be going into. So here we are. Wait, what? You saw me boot up the game, right? How come I went right in the training mode? That's actually an option you now have in the game. So in the main menu here, if you go to your options, go to system here, you can choose it to have startup here like the way every other game does. Default, right? Main menu, training mode, or go right into online from the get-go. It's such a small thing, but it saves you a few seconds, but fighting games are games you usually put like 1,000 hours into, so things that save you a few seconds hundreds of time, that's really handy, right? So little thing, really cool. I like it a lot. So now showing off the new characters here. Tsurugi's a little more generic. The real breadwinner here of the two, because once again, the guy who's locked right here is not playable in this build here. But of the two, Kaguya seems to be the one here. This is your shotgun waifu. And also, before we get into the gameplay here, they know what they're doing. So obviously, Under Night In-Birth gives you all sorts of colors and a lot of reference colors. Not the least of which here, Miss Valentine is very certainly Elfelt from Guilty Gear, and Shotgun Waifus, right? They gotta stick together. So if you want those color references, they're definitely there. Now, as far as characters go, not normally my kind of character, to be honest with you, right? More, full screen zoner kind of deal, but very interesting. That's what I really gotta say. So does she use the guns? Oh boy, you better believe it. And these guns, they hurt, and there's a lot of options. Like even the basic Quarter Circle Forward series, right? Quarter Circle Forward B is a full screen laser. It's a beam, and it does have a follow-up that does connect on the second hit, wall bounces. Quarter Circle Forward A is literally a Rekka series. That's really handy. Of course, with all sorts of projectiles, she does have an effective DP as well. But some of the interesting stuff here is some of her backwards momentum moves here that just filled the screen with trash. So these little nublets, these little nuggets of energy here, will explode in a big way and provide a lot of hit stun. So you can retreat backwards or go forward if you want to, right? And these little bad boys here are just a big wall of hitbox waiting to explode. Not the least of which are also quite handy in combos. Now, you'll never accuse me of having the most optimal combos for this character, especially at this early time, but just something like this. So yeah, some pretty cool stuff. Just the fact that you got to tailor the combo around it, but you can hold them in place long enough for the little nublets of energy to explode. Has very high hit stun. She has charged heavy in the air, which just spikes people down to the ground, right? And then you just kind of recombo from there. Once again, nowhere near optimal. I'm sure you can find much better in time, but just an idea, and that's cool. And obviously, some other special moves there. She has an air dash. That's a special, right? And it hits people on the course of the air dash, which seems to be a theme going on not too long lately, because that's also what Omni-Man is doing in Mortal Kombat 1. She's also allowed to double jump after the fact as well, which also can create some combo routes. As you can see there, so all you have to do is right after you do your little air teleport, jump cancel it, and then go for that charge heavy, spike them down to the ground, recombo, and I'm sure there's going to be lots of interesting things you can do with that. Also, her force function, so medium heavy together, it's one of the moves that messes with the grid. It is effectively an SNK spot dodge. She's just actually invincible while doing it. So, you know, having a full invincible spot dodge while you're the crazy zoning lady with all sorts of shots from all over the screen and filling the screen with trash, not too bad. Not the least of which, she also has all sorts of moves out of it. She can either do a retreating gunshot, which is basically her stand heavy, except she goes even further backwards. Or if you hit 4 on a button, she just basically does effectively what is Quarter Circle 4B, except this is not duckable like Quarter Circle 4B is, right? So, yeah, interesting and pretty alright in my books. And the down forward C command normal is really cool, just because the animation's really cool, right? Her whole essence is like gun fu, right? So she leaps forward, John Woo style, just kind of shooting guns. And she has so many different follow-ups from it. She can either cross up on the other side, do multiple hits and launch, just start throwing those little nublet projectiles out, or, you know, just dodge out, right? And you can choose which way you want to dodge out after the fact, forward or backward or whatever. So lots of mobility, lots of gunshots, lots of craziness. Once again, I know this is not the kind of character I would normally play personally, but the fact that I think she's still pretty cool anyways, regardless, really stands to the testament of this is a pretty good new character, not the least of which the supers are pretty impressive, right? Certainly better than Shield Boy, who betrayed me, because if you don't know Under Night in Birth, certain characters, certain command grabs can be teched, and he has a techable command grab, which to me is tantamount to betrayal. So yeah, just a little bit of a highlight. Once again, open beta is live now throughout the whole weekend. PS4, PS5, try it out if you haven't. I do believe it launches, Under Night in Birth 2, launches in January, not too far from now. If you've never played this series, it's a great series. It's a great franchise, so many cool characters. And, you know, if you haven't played any other characters, then by all means, don't just stick with the new characters. There's a whole fantastic roster of people to mess around with here. Under Night in Birth is of no shortage of cool and fun characters in fighting games, to say the least. So that said, basically, once again, this video is a PSA just for you to get out and try the beta while it's still alive, and or just, you know, remember that the game's right around the corner. Finally, after all these years, roll back netcode. It's a dream. We've waited a long time. This is technically, you know, a new game in the series, not just another subtitle. It's Under Night in Birth 2, right? And they kind of rebuilt the game from the ground up just to make sure that online / rollback actually worked, so good on them. And that said, well, that's basically the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Under Night in Birth.